Welcome to day one of Manifest Your Fuck Yes Yeah. This is a free event, a free 3-part series that I have created for you to cover everything that you need to manifest an absolutely extraordinary fuck yes year this year. Now, I have created workbooks that go along with each of these videos. So if you're just finding this and you didn't actually sign up, welcome. Get your workbook below. There is a link in the show notes of this video so that you can join along the fun with us. For me, this is about really getting this work out to more people. I see so many narratives in the mainstream manifestation community, or like the mainstream way of manifesting and quantum leaping, that really keeps people stuck in lack and scarcity. And it's my mission to show you that it doesn't need to be hard, it doesn't need to be complicated, and you don't need to add more things to your to-do list. Like, you are busy enough as it is. You don't need to go and like do 15 things every day to make sure that you're an energetic match and that you're going to manifest. And the reason I say this is because I have been there, done that. When it comes to manifestation rituals and routines and like doing all of the things, manic manifesting, if you will, I have been there, done that. I have done it all and lived to tell the tale of how this actually gets to be so much easier. See, I don't believe that manifestation requires you to do certain things, to journal at certain phases of the moon, to work with certain crystals, to pull oracle cards. And absolutely, yes, they are all amazing tools that can guide you on your journey. For me, I see manifestation as a way that I get to choose to live and lead my life. And it's my desire and my intention to show you exactly how I do that. And I mean like exactly how I do that. This isn't a 3-part series where I'm just going to like cherry pick little things to show you and then make you buy some program at the end in order to give you all of the real tangible steps. That is not how we play in my world. I am here to literally just give you all of the things and trust that you will know what to do with it, or you will reach out for extra support and guidance wherever you need it. Because the beautiful thing with this journey is you actually don't have to do it alone. There's a really strong misconception online that quantum leaping and collapsing time and like moving too much is really unsustainable. And it absolutely can be when you are doing it from the energy of lack and scarcity, which is where so many people move from. What I mean by this is that we go out and we play these weird games with the universe. We play games like, oh, I need to prove that I am worthy and I need to become an energetic match. And it's all about becoming something different and something outside of us to prove that we're worthy and prove we can hold the thing. I just really don't play into this energy because for me, it is all rooted in lack and not enoughness and fear and doubt. It's like, if I don't do this and I don't make it through this challenge and I don't prove to the universe that I'm worthy to hold all of the things that I desire to hold, then I'm not going to be worthy and I'm not going to get to achieve all of the things I want. Or we can do this on the other level where we actually successfully manifest the thing that we want, but then we're so stuck in fear and doubt of our ability to actually hold the thing that we self-sabotage and we lose it all. I'm going to talk a lot more about that on day 2, so make sure you stick around for the whole event because this is like a 3-part series that all pieces together like a puzzle to form the easiest, most simple manifesting routine that you could ever need. And I just said routine, it's not really a routine at all. It's just literally like a way that you can integrate this into your everyday life. The very first mindset shift, if you will, that I really want you to work on integrating over the next 3 days is that you are already an energetic match to everything that you desire. This was the biggest shift that I made in my whole life, like in my whole journey of personal development, of self-growth, and all of the things that I've done. Anchoring into this belief really changed so much for me. And don't get me wrong, it was not easy to anchor into because it has been drummed into me, just like everyone else, that being on a journey of manifesting requires you to become an energetic match to the thing. But when you really think about it, that's just so rooted in not enoughness. It's saying that you came to this planet, you were born into this world with all of these hopes and dreams and desires and like this calling. And I know that you've got it. You have this calling for something more, for a life that is bigger than everyone else around you. And you've been apologizing for it. You've been playing small. You've been apologizing for desiring more and feeling like you should just be grateful for what you have. You've probably been told before that you're too much of a dreamer and you should just be grateful for what you've got. But to think that you would be born with this calling and these desires and not already be worthy of them and not already be enough to achieve them, it's pretty fucked up, if you ask me, to be really frank. And I just don't believe that we live in a universe that requires us to embark on tests and to prove and to become something else. I truly believe that our whole journey in this lifetime is to become more of ourselves. See, where you've been trained to look outside of yourself, I have learned that I need to go within. Where you think that you need to become another version and then another version and then another version in order to get closer to the things that you desire to achieve in your life, I have learned that I just need to go deeper and deeper and deeper within myself, peeling back the layers of fear and doubt and becoming the woman that I was put here to become. Anchoring into this changed everything for me. For me, this is about being the woman that I desire to be. I'm not on a journey to become her. I'm not on a journey to become something else because I already am her. And I know that she is already within me. I am being her. I am knowing. I know that everything is going to unfold. I know when I am on the brink of a completely new up level, of receiving more money, of receiving a manifestation that I've been holding the energy of for a while. I know when it is coming because I'm so tapped into it and tapped into myself. And most importantly, I am anchored so deeply into trust, trusting the process, trusting the wisdom, the guidance, the things that come to me, trusting that I am already the person who is perfect and worthy and capable of bringing everything into existence that I can even think of. Like every time I think of something new, I'm like, boom, I know that that's come to me for a reason. And I know that I get to create that in my life. And I want you to be able to anchor into this and this conviction by the end of our 3 days together. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's dive straight into day one. She says 9 minutes already into the video, but that's cool. Day one is all about choosing. Now, we're already basically at the end of January. You have more than likely already created your goals, or you've got some sort of an idea about where you want to go this year, what you want to create, what you want to achieve, what you want to do. And that's absolutely perfect. You don't need to turn this video off right now because this is actually an opportunity to look at those goals through a completely different lens. If you haven't created your goals yet and you're still kind of on the fence with what you want to do, this is absolutely perfect as well. You are totally in the right place. And all I ask is that you really lean in and trust the process of what I'm going to guide you through today. Before I even dive into any of it, what I want to do is help you to recalibrate to a whole new way of being. And the way that we do this, I'm going to guide you through a beautiful process, but really what we need to do is let go of the past. Let go of the way that things have been, the evidence, the lack of evidence, everything that has come before this moment. And I was literally watching this movie last night called Everything Everywhere All at Once. And at one point, one of the characters grabs the main character and says, everything that you have experienced in your life, all of the rejections, the fears, the drama, the things that didn't work out, it has all led you up to this now moment. This is your moment. And honestly, I got goosebumps when I heard it. And I want you to right here, right now, see that this is your moment. This is your moment. This is your time. And the coolest thing is that even though to your ego, to your conscious mind, it looks like potentially everything up to this moment hasn't been working, you haven't achieved the things. Maybe you've achieved some things, but you haven't achieved everything, right? Maybe you've seen some evidence, but you still haven't manifested. what I want you to really lean into is that even when you couldn't see it, everything was working. Everything was compounding. Everything was building trust and conviction and getting you to this now moment. And in this moment, we are going to release attachment to the past, release attachment to those things that did not work out because we didn't need them to work out because they got us to where we are now. And now we get to choose again. And now we get to choose what we actually want to achieve. We get to choose to finally step into the more that we desire from our life. And so, what I want to do is guide you first through a process that is going to really draw a line between the past and now. And the reason that this is so important, the reason that I want you to really let go of your views and your perspectives from the past is because your past will equal your future if you don't do anything about it. And this is literally how you're wired. It's not something you're doing wrong. It's not something you can decondition yourself from. This is how we're wired. Your subconscious mind always wants to keep you safe. And safety to your subconscious is something that it's experienced before. It is the predictable past. This is why you will continually repeat the same patterns over and over and over again if you don't choose different, act different, and reprogram the stories that are buried so deep in your subconscious mind that doing that thing is not safe. You will always choose the predictable past over the uncertainty of doing something different in your future. And today we begin to rewrite that story and rewire that process by literally drawing a line between what has passed and what is now. So I want you to take a moment. If you are listening to this on the run, you're going to want to skip this bit and come back later, but make sure you come back because this is so important. This process is everything. It's going to really, really anchor into this as a whole new year, a new way of being, a new way of doing things, and really set the standard for what you are creating. So when you're ready, I want you to close your eyes. Take a big, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I want you to just see yourself on a beach. It's honestly the most beautiful beach that you've ever seen. You're sitting there in the sand. You can feel the warm sand beneath you. Feel your hands in the sand, your feet in the sand. And you're just sitting there looking out over this beautiful beach. And you're there completely alone, just in awe of the moment. You can hear the waves crashing up onto the shore, the sun so warm down on your skin. And you can feel a beautiful light breeze and birds chirping. Like it's so picturesque. It's honestly like, am I in an actual movie right now? And I want you to just look out along the water. And then just notice that you have this desire to get up and to walk along the beach. So you're going to follow that. You're going to stand up now and you're going to just start to walk along the beach. And as you walk, I want you to just start to reflect. Reflect on your past stories, on the circumstances, the repeating patterns, the things that have happened. It can be good, it can be bad, it doesn't matter. Like we're really sitting in neutral energy here and we're just noticing these things come up. Really reflecting, seeing the things play out, hearing the stories, the memories, the beliefs, like just really seeing it all play out. And you just keep walking and reflecting. Reflecting on the things that you know don't serve you. reflecting on the things that you know you're ready to leave behind. Reflecting on the things that you've seen just repeating over and over and over again. And it's frustrating, and that's okay. See all the ways that things didn't work out when you wanted them to, the missed opportunities, the things that you achieved and then they weren't all that they were cracked up to be. And just as you're walking and reflecting, I want you to notice that there is a stick in the sand. And you're going to pick up that stick now. And I want you to stop walking and walk down to the shoreline if you're not already there. Still reflecting on all the things. And you're going to draw a line in the sand from the shore right up to where the sand goes. Wherever the sand stops at that tree line, begin to draw the line. And as you draw the line, I want you to notice that there is actually an energetic barrier going up. A beautiful wall of white light. And you can see these stories and these beliefs and everything from the past hitting up against that wall, but it cannot go past. Those stories, those patterns, the self-sabotage, the evidence that you were missing, the things that you achieved that didn't feel right, everything that has been before this moment is hitting up against that energetic barrier. And you just stop for a minute and you look at it. And you just notice it all there. And notice that the weight has lifted. You know that in this moment, you've released it. You're choosing again in this moment. You're choosing for the past to no longer play into your current circumstances. And you can feel that barrier there protecting you from all of that stuff, protecting you from those stories, protecting you from those people, those energy leaks, the boundary leaks. It no longer plays a role in your future. And I want you to feel so grateful right in this moment. Like, look at it all and just feel so grateful that you get to do this now. Like, you get to wipe the slate clean and you get to start again. And this gets to be the moment that changes everything for you this year. And really sink into that and feel it. And right now, I want you to squeeze your wrist. Really squeeze your wrist. Breathe out 3 times. Big deep breath out. Blowing it all out. Any other little remainders of feelings that are left trapped within you, breathe them out now. Breathe it out 3 times. 2. And 1 final one to release any little bits of stagnant energy, anything else that's trapped up there. Breathe it out again. Now I want you to sit and repeat after me, still squeezing your wrist. Everything I've been through led me to this moment today. This moment is absolutely perfect. This moment is evidence that everything is always working, building, conspiring, and compounding in my favor. Even when I can't see the evidence. I can anchor into this moment and know that it is true. Everything I've been through led me to this moment today. This moment is perfect. This moment is evidence that everything is always working, building, conspiring, and compounding in my favor, even when I can't see the evidence. I can anchor into this moment and know that it is true. And when you're ready, you can release the squeeze on your wrist and walk back up along the beach, seeing in your mind's eye that the energetic barrier is still there. You've left it all in the past and you're now moving forward, seeing the evidence of everything working, building, and conspiring in your favor. Every move you make now compounds, it's building momentum. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Now, let's talk about your choices, your vision, your goals. One thing I really want you to know about me is that in my world, I don't do SMART goals. I don't do traditional goal setting. I don't even really call them goals. I call it a vision and I call them choices. Because for me, that feels so much more powerful. It's like I'm holding onto this vision. My vision is my North Star. It is it's literally a vision. It's painting a picture of the life that I desire to live. And then my choices are the things, the breakdown, the smaller things along the way that are going to get me to live in that vision. Now, I know a lot of people still like to teach SMART goals, but here is my problem with SMART goals. And by SMART, if you're not familiar with the term, that means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and in a time frame. I recorded a whole entire podcast episode on this, so I'm not going to go really deep into this. You can go and visit that episode if you want to understand more about why I really don't. But in a nutshell, number one is that SMART goals become really easily rooted in ego and negative vision, which I'll go into even deeper in a moment. But the other thing is that there is just no magic in a SMART goal. There's no magic. And I find more often than not, it sends people into lack and limitation, trying to think of what's actually achievable in a certain amount of time. And if your goals are rooted in lack and scarcity, if that's the energy that you're creating from, if you're always trying to think of what's achievable and measurable and what you can achieve in a certain time frame, you're always going to be playing small. You're always going to be playing in lack and scarcity. And then what happens? You're playing in lack and scarcity, you're playing small, and then you're wondering why lack, scarcity, and playing small is always showing up in your life. The choices that we make, this is why this is day one, because the choices that you make in the energy that you create them from underpins everything else that you do. And so today I want to show you how you can make more powerful choices, how you can create a more powerful vision, one that actually manifests, and one that is actually true for you. So what I want to do now is guide you through the workbook that I have created for you. Again, if you don't have access to this, you can just click the link below this video and it will be emailed out to you. I'm going to guide you through all of the steps anyway, so you can actually just follow along this video in your journal. For those of you who already have the workbook, it is a fillable PDF, so you don't need to do anything else. You can type directly in it. But what I will say is I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this video, so just pause me at each moment when you need time to actually work through one of the activities, if you will. So the first thing I want you to do, pulling out your journal, your notepad, the workbook, whatever you feel called to do, is to paint out your vision. I want you to imagine that you get to create anything that you want to create this year. And it gets to be fun and it gets to be easy. And just start writing down the things that come to you. What would you love to create? And in doing this, I want you to really paint it as a vision and as a picture. It doesn't necessarily have to just be like a list of specific things like, how do you want your days to go? Who do you want to be there? What do you want to achieve? Like all of the details. You don't need to go searching for details that aren't there. Anything that comes through to you is absolutely perfect. I love the whole being super specific thing, but for some people that just doesn't work. You know yourself better than anyone, so really trust what comes through to you. And as you're going through this, I want you to make sure that you are covering all of the different areas of your life. Because it's really easy, and this is one of the very first things that we do when we create an inefficient vision for our life, is that it's so lopsided. We're always focused on like just money or like one big thing that we want to create, or our goals are all revolved around our business and we forget about our personal life and everything else. So I want you to make sure that your vision, as you're writing this out, ticks off the following boxes: money, relationships, leisure, business, health and wellness, personal growth and development. There are the key things to creating a really balanced vision. So really sit with this. And just as you're sitting with it, as you're writing things out, I want you to notice any times that doubt or lack or scarcity or anything kind of comes up for you. And just write that down in the section below. I've created a whole section for that. We're going to be really addressing this stuff tomorrow in tomorrow's session, which is really all about reprogramming the mindset. I'm going to take you through a really cool process tomorrow as well. So make sure that you come back to do that exercise. But right now we're painting the vision and we're noticing any ways that we're doubting, we're questioning, we're sinking into lack. Now I'm going to keep moving on with this because I don't want to waste your time. So you can pause this if you're not done and if you need some more time. But what we're going to do now is really audit your vision. Audit that vision. And what I mean by this is a look at it with a really critical lens of how am I potentially playing into egoic agendas and creating inefficient goals and choices. Now, let me take you through exactly what this means, and you'll see that this is all stepped out beautifully in the workbook. The first thing is, and the first way that we create inefficient goals and choices is through it being a negative vision. And what this literally means is that the thing that you've written is in a negative connotation, like I don't want this, right? How do you actually want to feel? Instead of I don't want to be stressed, I don't want to make a shit ton of money feeling really stressed. What do you want? What do you want? You actually want to make a lot of money and feel it feels effortless and it feels fun and it feels easy, right? I did this for literal years. And the reason that this is an issue is because what it does is it sets up an opposing structure. So I'm going to do the whole hand signals. Bear with me while I explain this to you. So what I want you to think of is like you've got this actual goal of what you want to create, right? You want this beautiful life, a business that supports it. You want to travel. You want to go on heaps of holidays. You want to really serve clients, make heaps of money, have all the beautiful things, right? But right now, you're also in this energy of, I don't want to be in my job. And this was my very specific example. I hated where I worked so much that my goals were always, I want to have this business because I don't want to work in my job anymore. I want to make X amount of money in my business this month because that would allow me to quit the job that I hated. Everything centered around this job and how I didn't want that. I was resisting that. You know, you can resist feeling stressed by being like, well, I want to do all these things, but I don't want to feel stressed while I do it. There's still that energy to the resistance. And so what happens is instead of just being here and focusing on the things that you want and putting all of your focus and your energy and your attention there, there's this other thing in the background, this other thing that's leaking your energy. You're literally putting energy to that thing that you don't want. So every time you say, oh, well, I don't want that to happen, and I don't want to feel this way, and I really hate this part, you're feeding it energy. Energy that can be better used focusing purely on where you want to go. So I want you to go back over your goals, and I want you to look for anything that is written with that as the underlying tone. Anything that has the energy of, I am resisting something else. I cannot have that happen. I do not want this. I don't want to feel this. And I want you to look at each of them and ask yourself, what do I actually want here? What do I actually want? For me, It wasn't that I hated my job so much and I wanted to leave it and I wanted to make enough money in my business so that I could do that. It was actually just that I wanted more freedom. I wanted to be in control of my own time. I wanted to have more time to do things that I loved. And I wanted to find a way to make a shit ton of money while I did all of that. How much more powerful does that sound? So go back and do that one. Now, the next way that we make inefficient goals and choices, and this one is so common and so simple, is literally just that we make choices that we know are not our own. And you know it's not yours because when you write it down, you're just like I have no actual attachment to that. But it's something that you think you should want to work towards. And a really cool example, again, that I have of this one is that I used to be in network marketing. And I was creating a vision board one year. And I remember sitting there being like, oh, I want to reach 100 club in this network marketing company. And when I wrote it down, or when I cut out the pieces that I was sticking onto the vision board, I just knew there was something off with it. And I was put it down to being in lack and being in doubt and being in fear. But what I realized later was that I actually didn't want that. At no point did I actually want to be 100 club in that network marketing company because I was never meant to be in that network marketing company long term. For me, that was a stepping stone into what I do now. It was part of the journey and it was an important part, but I was never meant to stay in that and to build up beyond where I did. And so a lot of people do this too with houses, I should say. There are people who will put, oh, I want to buy this specific amazing house, and they'll put it on their vision board. But when they really sit with it, they actually don't want to buy a house. They're actually really happy just renting and having the freedom to move around or pack up and be a digital nomad. So I want you to go through now, and I want you to really look and feel into each of the goals and the choices that you've created and really tap into, is this my own? Is this actually, when I remove everything else from it, is this actually something that I want to achieve? Can I actually see myself doing this? Okay. The next one is that we make goals and choices out of the energy of lack and limitation. And we've kind of already spoken about this earlier, but when we choose something that isn't necessarily the actual thing that we want, but it feels more possible or more realistic. So what I want you to think about here as an example is, let's say that you really want to be making 50K per month in your business. But there's something in you that's like, oh, that's not really realistic. It's a little bit ahead of where I'm currently at. I'm going to choose the goal of 20K per month in business this year because that feels a lot more achievable. And really sit with that and go through it. The way that I really want you to be looking at these things is as if you have a magic genie, right? You have a magic genie and you get to rub on that lamp and it's going to grant you any wishes that you want. So what do you actually want? Removing the lack, removing what's realistic, removing what you can actually achieve in any particular period of time. What do you actually want to create? I do want to make a really quick note on this, and that is that sometimes choosing something ridiculously high can be out of lack and limitation itself. And this sounds so bizarre to say because I'm always that person that's literally, we're in a world, a universe, a field where things can change overnight. You can go from making 5K per month in your business to making 30K per month in your business with one viral video, one offer that changes things, one person that mentions your name in a room that you don't even know about. In any moment, quite literally, everything can change for you. And so I love to play in that energy of really leaning into the potential. But what I will say is, that sometimes choosing a goal that is so far beyond where you are at now will actually have you dipping into lack and scarcity because it never feels like you are making progress towards that thing. And I see this more when it comes to money for some reason. Other things doesn't seem to be an issue. Like we can hold the energy of buying our dream house over a few years and that's amazing. But when it comes to money, we really like to make things mean stuff about us. And if you're like really noticing your red flags right now, I actually have a program called Meant for Millions that is all about rewiring your money mindset so that you have the capacity to hold more and you really address these underlying stories, and especially the ones that are around really attaching our worth to money, because your worth can't be measured by finances, right? Your worth can't be measured by the things that you do or the money that you have in your bank. It's just not how it is. And yet, we continue to do it. And so if you're noticing that and you put some outrageous financial figure on your goal list, I want you to just look at it again and just decide, only you, this is where we need radical amounts of self-awareness and self-honesty. You know you more than anything. I want you to really sit with that figure, sleep on it if you will, and really decide, does this feel good in my body? Does this actually feel aligned? Is this really the figure that I want to create? And if there is any inkling of no, it doesn't feel safe, any heaviness in the chest or the stomach or even knot in the throat, that is your body saying we're not ready for this yet. And that's okay. We get to build and grow and expand our capacity. Again, I'm talking all about reprogramming tomorrow and how we get to rewire these beliefs and these stories and expand our capacity for more. But I want you to just really sit with that one. Okay. Where have you skipped over something that you would actually love to manifest? Like you just chose to not write it down, even if it's something that you want to do. We do this all the time. And there's like so many reasons below it. Sometimes it's because we don't think it's realistic. We don't think it's possible for us. We're just not really sure about it. I want you to go back now and write down any of those things, like something that came to you and then you were like, oh, like I could do that, but no, I'm not going to write that down. That doesn't feel like a priority. Go back and write it down. Claim it. This is really about claiming your choices, claiming your vision, claiming what you want to create this year. Now, the final thing that I want you to look over is, where have you written a goal from the energy of proving? Where have you written a goal from the energy of proving? These are egoic goals. They're literally designed to prove to yourself or to other people that an unconscious story you hold is true. And this is, again, where we really dip into lack and scarcity. We put things down that we don't necessarily want to create, but we think that it's going to raise our status or it's going to make us look more successful to other people, or just to prove that we could do it, to prove that we're worthy. Again, falling back into that really weird energy of proving shit to the universe that we just don't need to. Your goals really need to come from a clean energy. It gets to be as simple as, I would love to see this in my life simply because. I know that there's like the whole start with why saga. And again, I've recorded a whole podcast episode on this, so I'll just touch on it really briefly here. But I actually don't believe that you need to have this really strong, compelling why, this vision that's bigger than you and all of the things. And what I actually think, even though I can see the merit to it in that, you know, sometimes you'll let yourself down, but you won't let other people down. So if you can anchor into a why that has to do with other people, you're more likely to stick it out. I actually think that that's just bypassing, and what you actually need to do is be looking at your shit and figuring out why the heck you can't just keep your promises to yourself and like trust yourself enough that you'll make moves regardless of how it affects other people, because really that's really fucking selfish. But I digress. You don't need a why that's bigger than you. And when you do this, quite often you fall into the energy of trying to make things this big, huge, change the world kind of thing that actually you have no desire to do. And here is the biggest way I see this play out. When you really push someone to start thinking bigger and thinking of more things that they would do, right? And this is actually a process that I take people through in my private coaching. But once you have achieved everything that you want, and you, like, hypothetically speaking, once you have achieved everything that you want in your life and you really start to push people to think beyond that, they start coming up with random things like, oh, I would create a not-for-profit and I'd create a charity and I'd go and build houses in, some third world country. But really, they have no desire to do those things. It's literally coming from the energy of proving. It's coming from the energy of, well, I want to prove that I'm a good person and that I give back and that I go and do all of these things. And so this is what I'm going to write down. Like, it's literally just putting a goal down to check a box, and it's just so unnecessary. So if you have created any goals that come from the energy of, I need to do this to prove I'm enough, to prove I'm worthy, to prove I'm successful, to prove anything to anyone else, I want you to cross it off. It's not there. It's not a true goal. It's just not necessary. Now, the real big issue with this whole like negative vision, inefficient goals and choices is that they become self-fulfilling prophecies. And I went through before about how they really leak our energy because instead of just being focused on the thing that we want, we're focusing on all of these things that we don't want. But also they become self-fulfilling prophecies because we put things down that are never going to happen, that we actually don't have any desire to create, that are actually someone else's goals, or that come with the energy of proving. And then we get stuck in these cycles of lack and scarcity. The energy that we create our vision from is the energy that plays out. If your vision is created in lack and scarcity, is it any wonder that your life continues to play out in lack and scarcity and not enoughness? So I want you to go back now and rewrite all of your goals that are actually true for you. And there's a few other activities that you can do in your own time in that workbook. I don't want to waste any more time on this video because it's already gone for a really long time. But I want to really finish by anchoring into this. That what you have created today is actually a set of choices. Today you have made a decision. By showing up here, by watching this video, you have made a decision that this year is going to be the most extraordinary year of your life. And the power in this decision is actually what changes everything. Having a really good solid vision, having really good solid choices, like that's all amazing. But the power of being here in this moment and declaring that this is the vision that you are committed to this year, and it is an unwavering decision. It is a decision that you are making, that you are going to lead with trust and conviction. You are committed to this no matter what. When you do this, you quite literally set about ripples in the quantum field. Every time you can visualize something new for you, you actually create a new energetic potential in the quantum field. And when you make a decision, a choice, a commitment to yourself, when you declare that you are available for no less than everything that you have written down today, and that is exactly what you're doing here, you are declaring that today is the first day of the rest of your life. We've left everything else behind, right? We've left it all behind. It's not even there. The energetic barrier is still up to all that shit. It's not necessary. It doesn't matter. Right in this moment, everything has changed. And in declaring this, in doing this, in making this decision to be completely unwaverable this year, to not sway even the slightest from your vision, to not question it, to trust that this came to you for a reason, you have set about quite literal ripples in the quantum field. It is a rearrangement of timelines. Things are shifting and things are already starting to flow to you. This is how easy it gets to be. This is how simple it gets to be. Choosing. You want to go and overcomplicate everything and make manifestation this big 10-step process, but the first thing you have to do is choose and declare what you want, the standard you're going to live by, how you're going to receive it, what you stand for. The power in this is unmeasurable. This is why it's the first step. We can't do anything else until we know where we're going. Your vision is your North Star. In every moment of lack and doubt and insecurity, you can tap back into this energy and you can see that this is why you're doing what you're doing. Because you want to create this vision, because you know deep within you that this vision is yours for a reason. This vision isn't random. This vision came to you because it is yours and it gets to be yours, and you get to create this with ease and flow and alignment and having a fucking amazing time while you're doing it. What I want you to do is take a screenshot of this video, share it to your Instagram stories, and I want you to declare your unwavering decision to commit to this vision. Because in doing that, I am going to reshare it, because obviously you're going to share it and you're going to tag me at Jamie Lee White. If you don't follow me on Instagram, what are you doing? Come and follow me. Talk about all this stuff there as well. But I'm going to reshare it and I'm going to celebrate you. But really the energy behind this is we're collectively manifesting. Because I deeply want for you the same thing that you want for you. And when we combine that power, it elevates. Like, it is so magical when you want for other people the same things that they want for themselves. And that in itself makes you even more magnetic. So go screenshot, make your decision, make your declaration. I'm going to reshare it. I'm going to celebrate you and clap you on, cheer you on every step of the way. And we're going to really supercharge our manifesting power over the next few days. Tomorrow, I'm going deeply into reprogramming, because for me, that really is the key, the step, like the thing that changes everything. On a final note, there is one thing that just came to me that I really want to share with you. And that is, in the manifestation space, there is a lot of talk about surrender and non-attachment. And while I do fully support that, I do not believe that you should create this vision and then put it aside because otherwise you're not surrendered and you're attached to it and you're chokeholding your goals. I just don't believe that to be true. Because I believe, as I said earlier, that your vision is your North Star. It's your guiding star. It's the thing that guides you through everything that you are going to go through over the next 12 months. And you get to anchor back into that, right? What happens is people go through and they do these goal setting and they create this vision, and then they think they have to release it and surrender it and let it go to the universe. And then they never revisit it. But actually, this vision gets to be the anchor point for everything else that you do this year. And that's not going to make complete sense to you right now in this moment, because I'm going to show you exactly how that plays out in day 3. I'm literally going to give you a tool that you can use to never have to question what you need to be doing again. Because I truly believe you have all of the answers within you, but it actually starts with knowing where you're going first. So I want to finish up there. If this is something that you want to really dive deep on, over the next few days, I'm also going to be mentioning my membership, Momentum, which is quite literally all about building momentum in every step of the way this year. Because one of the biggest ways that people self-sabotage is in thinking that the quantum leap comes only from the big, bold moves. But truly, your quantum leap is made up of tiny micro moves, of the small baby steps, right? And when you can concentrate in on those micro moves and the energy in which you're doing them from, you will notice that their momentum will build. And this is the whole focus of what my membership is going to be about. So you can DM me over on Instagram if you want to find out more information about that, or click the link in the show notes below. But thank you so much for joining me on day 1. I'm so excited to bring you the next 2 days. Like, this was really just a little tester, a little taste of what is to come. We just go up from here.